Okay. I wasn't going to weigh in on this Corey Wayne thing. And Solo, if it wasn't for you, and shout out to Solo 84. Wasn't for you, I probably would not weigh in on this Corey Wayne thing. Every now and then, it seems like every 3 months, it's some group or some person that is taking a shot at MGTOW. And this has been going on for, Jesus. If you look back in the history, it's been going on for at least 5 years with Barbarossa, and we started calling PUAs pussy beggars. So this is the thing that's been going on for 5 years, going back and forth with MGTOWs calling PUAs names and PUAs taking shots at MGTOWs, calling them, well, among other things, what is homosexuals, virgins, losers, what have you. You know, you name it, MGTOWs have been called it. They've been called it by feminists, anti-feminists, MRAs, MRMs, red pill traditionalists, blue pill traditionalists, the BBC, Australian TV, newspapers, Huffington Post, you name it. MGTOW has been attacked. But there's one fact that you cannot deny about MGTOW. It's still growing. Even Corey Wayne himself exhibits MGTOW tendencies. The basic two tenets of MGTOW is don't get married, don't have children. And so for Corey Wayne, a pickup artist who's in his 40s, who basically capes for traditionalism, because basically pickup artists are basically traditionalists, because that's the end game. If you look at Rouge V, who went from pickup artist to neo-masculinist, because what's the difference between a neo-masculinist and a pickup artist? One's under 35 and one is over 35. Pickup artists have no end game. If you're a pickup artist, there's only two directions you can go in. You either go back to be a traditionalist, where you get married, you have kids, you do the whole 9 yards, or you go MGTOW. You don't get married, you don't have kids, and whether you use Backpage, street hoes, escorts, what have you, or go on dates. It's in a continuous loop. That is the definition of MGTOW. Barbarossa, Sandman himself has done it. But if you're a pickup artist and you don't have any end game and you're still out there dating and you never settle down and you're exhibiting MGTOW tendencies, the only way that you can actually excuse that is to do what? Is to put MGTOW on a smaller box. Now, MGTOW has evolved, even involved in the 3 years that I've been in it. In the beginning, it was never about the monks of MGTOW. The monks of MGTOW, or leaving women completely alone, is something that Stardust came up with. And there's a lot of older MGTOWs that are level 3 and above. Also, the over 35 crowd that keeps you from being that one blowjob away. That keeps you from crossing back over or falling off the MGTOW wagon. That's why you have a lot of them that suggest you being a monk. Because if you want to truly be safe, if you want to truly not cross over or not fall back, the only way to guarantee that is to become a monk and cut off contact, at least dating contact. But everybody knows that's impossible for men under 40, and especially men under 30. But it has not changed. It is people's perception of MGTOW, which most MGTOW don't particularly care about. The only time people care about what people say about MGTOW is when it shows up in a video. But Solo, you could go back and you could put MGTOW versus MGTOW into the YouTube search engine, and you can find this stuff going all the way back to 2010 by a number of people. And I've responded to a bunch of people. Biennia, I did a couple of ones on my MGTOW channel about Felicia. I did a whole bunch of rees. In fact, I've done a couple of MGTOW defense videos against Hebrew Israelites. A number of people have come in and attacked MGTOW. There's even some people that are IBMOR, that are Hebrew Israelites, but follow the MGTOW philosophy. And they say exactly the same thing Corey Wayne says. Why do they follow the MGTOW philosophy? Because the atmosphere, the environment in the West is too dangerous to actually risk having children or risk getting married, which is exactly what the MGTOW tenet tells you. Even living with a woman in certain states puts you at risk towards the state. And MGTOW is not necessarily about not dealing with women, not having sex with women, not having women friends, not any of that stuff. It is limiting your exposure to the gynocentric state. There's only a very few monks, and most of those cats that are monks are 35 and over. Now you got some kids that are virgins that want to avoid it, which I don't know how they will, and I say good luck to them. Or that are in their 20s and are celibate, and I say good luck to them, that bump up to level 3. Those are the first ones to kind of bump down into level 1 and 2. Stating your claim on the air, in public, and making videos about it puts you at risk to fall off. I tell that to a lot of the young MGTOWs. Keep your options open. Stay at 1 and 2 and keep your option opens, because giving up sex in your 20s is a very difficult proposition, because you're fighting against your own biology. You can't listen to a MGTOW monk who's in his 40s or in his 50s like me and think that you're going to go celibate, or you're not going to have any sexual contact for 2 or 3 years. It's easier for me because I'm in my mid 50s. Okay. If you're in my mid 20s, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to date. You're going to have to pick up women, and there's nothing wrong with using pickup artist techniques. The only difference between a pickup artist and a level 1 or 2 MGTOW is that level 1 or 2 MGTOW doesn't make women or chasing women at the center of his thinking. If you're going to be a stomped down, dyed in the wool pickup artist, true pickup artist, you got to make your approaches. You got to make at least 2 or 3 approaches or more a day. It's all about the approach and practicing the approach. A level 1 or 2 MGTOW is not going to do that. He's not going to build his life around approaches. If he sees a girl that's cute to him, that he wants to have sex with, or that he might even like, nothing wrong with liking women as a MGTOW, he will approach her, and he will date her if it's in accordance to his budget or whatever he deems appropriate. The only difference is that when you start dating, and we always tell them, you put yourself at risk, because then you are one blowjob away. So it doesn't matter about what people think about MGTOW. It really doesn't matter. And ultimately, the goal of MGTOW was to change the gynocentric system, which it's already doing. MGTOW was never supposed to be a widespread philosophy. Go back and look at Stardust's early work. It was always supposed to be a very small niche amount of people. It was never supposed to go mainstream. In fact, most MGTOWs were against MGTOW going mainstream. So it didn't matter what people thought about MGTOW. It's always going to be misunderstood. Nobody understands Buddhism or Platonism or Jainism or Nietzscheism unless they really get in and live the philosophy. You can't understand. Pickup artists doesn't make sense unless you get in and you actually live the philosophy. These YouTube wars over MGTOW and what have you is just that, YouTube wars. They have absolutely make no sense in the outside world. MGTOW has a bad name because women, basically women, do not like it. And if you're a dating coach and and your thing is for men and women to like you so you can make money, then MGTOW is a bad thing for you. The beta male revolution, which is currently going on, where the beta males is, which is what MGTOW is basically came to do, is free the beta males. The beta males are rebelling. The beta males are rebelling against the laws. Boys are becoming MGTOW not because of the philosophy, it's because of the environment that they're in. If you go to college and you run the risk of having sex with a woman on campus and getting accused of rape, which is a very real deal, you might want to be a MGTOW. If you're out at the club chasing women, getting women drunk, and wait for it, you look at what's going on with Derrick Rose, and what are they trying him for? They're trying him for rape because they said the woman that he had sex with was too drunk to know what she's doing. That's exactly out of yes means yes. That's now crossing over into mainstream. If you look at what's going on with Nate Parker, whose rape trial was almost 20 years ago, it's centered on what? A drunk woman who said she didn't know what she was doing because she was too drunk. That's crossing over into what? It's crossing over into mainstream. Solo, get ready. You're coming up on that date, bro. In 4 or 5 years, you're going to have to make a decision. Whether you're going to go mainstream or you're going to go MGTOW. Those are your two choices. Either you're going to get married and you're going to have kids and do the traditional route, like Roosh is trying to do, neo-masculinist, or you're going to have to do what Corey Wayne does, but he doesn't want to admit it because he's a dating coach, which is go MGTOW. You're not going to get married. You're not going to have kids. Anyway, that's all the time I got for you, Solo. Shout out to you. Calm down. Don't get pissed off because what's the old term? Don't sweat the little things. This is a little thing. This is BGS out.